Happy Monday to you on this Monday, August 12th. It's another chance for us to get together to fellowship and enjoy another hour of programming right here on Virginia This Morning. I'm Andrea Swipe-Murdoch, and I am thrilled to be back with the one and only Bill Bevins. We're happy that you're spending a part of your morning here with us, and we hope you had a great vacation last week. We sure did miss you.
It was one of those things where you got lots of stories to tell. Years to come. You remember when we went there and this hurricane came through? Yeah, it was. We were in the Outer Banks, and we were on Hatteras Island, and we left on Thursday, trying to get out of there before we got flooded in.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was. Yeah, like I said, lots of family stories.
Lots of family bonding time inside.
There was that. So I spent a lot of time on the screen porch.
Well, at least you had a screen porch. That's nice.
Yeah.
Keep the sand off of you.
Yeah. So anyway, but you know what? I was off. Biggest adjustment for me this morning was putting shoes back on.
Oh,
yeah.
What a tragedy.
Yeah. Shoes and socks?
Well,
what do they expect from me?
We'll have to check the rule book and see if you have to wear shoes around here.
I think it's kind of a deal. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the question. Do you have to take a vacation from your vacation?
Well, we came back early.
So you could relax.
So kind of get readjusted to the real world again. Yeah.
Vacations can take it out of you, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so. But somebody said, you look really good. I went, I got sandblasted, everything.
Exfoliation.
Yeah, there was that. So we're good to go.
We're glad to have you back. Glad you're safe and sound. And we're happy to see her name on our guest list today. Today she's back with another one of her yummy creations, and we'll be taking making a coconut slab bar.
We'll be taking it too.
Yeah, all of that. Local Richmond pastry chef Fabi Roop is in the Virginia This Morning kitchen, and we'll jump in there with her later today.
And folks, it's that time of the week. We get you all ready to embark on another successful week. We missed her last week. And a few weeks, we're happy to, for the last couple of weeks, and we're happy to have her back again today. Award-winning author and writing coach Stacey Hawkins Adams is here to share some motivation on a Monday.
Motivation on a Monday. Well, still capitalizing on the huge success of their new album, Burning Room Only, Ron Bossy and Jeff Lorber are traveling around the country, and they wanted to share their music video with you. Here's a preview.
Looking forward to hearing the rest of that a little bit later on. Now it's time to send it outside to CBS 6 meteorologist Tom Patton, who's outside in the CBS 6 weather garden. And welcome back, Tom.
Good morning. Good to see the two of you. Nice to see you on this Monday morning, right?
It's good to see the two of you. We missed you so much last week, all both of you.
Bill, you weren't here last week either, huh?
Yeah, I was on Hatteras Island trying to swim my way out.
Oh, that's, yeah. You should probably look at maybe the forecast before.
Well, you book those places and you kind of go with it.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Oh, well, very good. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got a decent week. I think we, for the most part, dry out for the next couple of days, which is good. Rain chances are not zero, but pretty low. So I think we've got some nice weather in store. Let's show you what's going on this morning. We do have partly sunny conditions, and with the sun, it's a lot warmer, of course. I guess the shade is going to be a little bit cooler. Of course, that's obvious. Yes, 76 degrees right now. The dew point is 67. We had some really nice temperatures this morning. Some areas off to the west were in the 50s. We, at the airport, made it to 70, but a lot of areas were in the mid-60s. But a couple stray 50s earlier this morning. Breezes north at 5 miles per hour. The dew point mid to upper 60s. So there's a little bit of humidity, but nothing crazy. Today, and temperatures right now, generally we're looking at the mid-70s across the Commonwealth, and just partly cloudy skies out here. High pressures are dominating force or system right now, so it's going to kind of keep us fairly tranquil. So partly sunny skies today. We'll look for a high of 86. Now the normal is about 88, so about average to maybe slightly below. And then tonight, partly cloudy, about 65 for the overnight low temperature. Hour by hour forecast today, mix of sun and clouds. And then as we go into tomorrow, kind of the same deal, maybe even a bit more clouds tomorrow, a degree or two cooler, and maybe just a spotty shower here or there. Again, chances are pretty low. I'm not really even going to leave it in the forecast. It's a bit lower than 20%, but not 0. So there could be a spot or two right into maybe even Wednesday, but nothing major really. We're expecting fairly dry air. I think most of us stay dry even into Thursday. Now we are keeping an eye on a system, potential tropical cyclone 5. This will likely eventually become Ernesto, and at this point it looks like it's going to stay, or at least curve north well before hitting the U.S. So maybe just kind of a surf or a wave maker for the Atlantic or the coastline for the U.S., but doesn't look like it's going to hit us. But that's how it's looking now. Hasn't really developed much yet, so it's worth keeping an eye on as we're now entering sort of the peak season for the tropics, pretty much mid-August through about mid-October. Look at that, just some 80s throughout the week. Maybe shower or storm chances increase a little bit for the upcoming weekend to about 30 to 40%. Overnight lows look like they'll just kind of stay in the 60s, so fairly pleasant. All right, Virginia This Morning will continue right after this.
Good morning and happy Monday to you. It's just after 9 o'clock. That means Virginia This Morning is in full swing. I'm Bill Bevins, joined today by our good friend Andreas White-Murdoch.
Hi, Mr. B, and good morning to all of you, our valued friends and viewers of the show. It's going to be a great week here at Virginia This Morning. I can just feel it.
Yeah, it's time for your first time. If it's your first time watching, I'm back. I'm still got some rust on here. If it's your first time watching, welcome to the show. We hope you're going to enjoy it as much as we do. Just before the break, we shared a few highlights of some of what's coming up on today's show. Here's a quick recap. She's one of our favorite pastry chefs, and she's with us today. Favi Roop is in the Virginia This Morning kitchen, and today she's going to make a coconut slab bar. And we're going to give that a try, as you might guess. We love sweet treats.
Oh, yes,
That's
we
still
are.
to come on our live show.
That's right, and it's time to get motivated on this Monday. Our great friend, award-winning author and speaker, Stacey Hawkins Adams is here, and we look forward to another engaging conversation with her. And today is a very special day.
Special day.
For potato lovers.
Oh.
Today is National Julienne Fries Day. According to the food holiday calendar, they say julienne fries are potatoes that have been cut into long, thin strips that make them look like matchsticks. It's classified as a French cut that are crisp and uniform in shape and size. And any kind of potato is my favorite. Where's
All right,
your...
so hold on. My whole life, I thought julienne fries were the ones that were cut in the little zigzag thing. That's wrong.
Oh, like a crinkle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, the long shoestring-looking ones are the julienne. Never mind.
We'll have to have another name for the crinkly one.
I think they're probably crinkle cut. I have no idea. Obviously, I've been looking at it wrong the whole time.
Yeah, well, now we know. That's why we have days like today.
You learn
a little bit educational.
Okay.
Now, in order to celebrate this special day, we have to go get some fries.
Yes.
Where's your favorite place to get fries? Ooh, tough question.
I'm gonna defer to you. What's your favorite fry?
Okay, my guilty pleasure, and I don't do it often, but I do love a McDonald's French fry.
I think McDonald's.
Man, especially when they get the salt just right. Just right.
Lots of salt, just right.
But what we're saying today is if you too love McDonald's French fries, it's okay today.
Yeah,
It's
today.
National Julienne Fries Day.
Okay.
Even though those aren't really skinny enough, but a fry is a fry.
Okay, yeah. Fries are fries.
Fries are fries are fries.
All right, and as the one under my seat would testify, I do it every once in a while. All right, folks, if you want to stay connected to our fun, informative show and want to re-watch any of our segments again, you can do that just by visiting our show website at virginiathismorning.com, like recipes, stuff like that.
If you have access to Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Android TV channels, you can watch it here too. If you need the app, just visit the App Store on your device and search WTVR Richmond. The best part It's absolutely free.
Okay. Now, before we head to break, here's Amy Lacey's recent conversation with a representative from the Virginia Department of Health.
This segment is sponsored by the Virginia Department of Health.
Americans haven't had to think about diseases like measles, polio, or even chickenpox for decades. Vaccines introduced in the 20th century dramatically reduced the spread of these infectious diseases, in some cases to the point of elimination in some parts of the world. But today, many highly contagious vaccine-preventable diseases have started to reemerge in the U.S., especially in regions where vaccination rates are low. In 2024, the CDC has reported more than 150 measles cases in more than 20 states, including Virginia. State epidemiologist Dr. Laurie Furlano joins us today to share what these trends could mean for kids heading back to school. Good morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
What is the status of vaccine-preventable diseases in Virginia?
So in Virginia, like you mentioned, we're pretty fortunate that we don't often see many cases of these conditions, but we are starting to see some vaccine-preventable diseases return to pre-COVID levels. So these are diseases like measles, whooping cough, chickenpox, mumps, and we're starting to see those levels creep back up to levels we saw before the pandemic. So we want to keep a close eye on that, and we're monitoring that very closely.
Why are Virginia public health officials concerned right now?
Right. So obviously, when you have a vaccine preventable disease, when you see these cases, that starts to perk your interest and concern. We do pretty well in Virginia. We have high vaccine coverage at the state level, but there are pockets of our state where those levels are lower than what we'd like to see. And in those communities, they're going to be more susceptible to cases of these conditions and outbreaks of these diseases.
Which childhood vaccinations are required for school entry in Virginia?
In Virginia, we require vaccines at different points during a child's school career. So we look at those vaccine requirements at kindergarten entry, 7th grade, and 12th grade. So depending on the age of the child or the grade entry point, there's going to be different vaccines that are required. Some examples are things like hepatitis A, measles vaccine, meningococcal disease for 12th graders. And the best way to get all those details is to go to our website at vdh.virginia.gov/back-to-school. You can get a list of the vaccines that are required and other health exam information that your children will need to get back to school.
How can parents get their children caught up on their vaccinations?
So definitely start with our website and get that information, but talk to your healthcare provider. If for some reason your child is missing a dose or needs to get some catch-up vaccines, they'll always work with you to get them caught up on those vaccine series. I know parents are probably eager to get their kids back to school, so calling and making those appointments right now and getting on the schedule early is probably a great decision to do that now.
What should parents do if they have concerns or questions about vaccines?
I mean, vaccines are one of the most significant public health successes of this century, really, and we're really fortunate that we have these vaccines to protect us from these diseases. But if you have questions about the vaccines, definitely talk to your doctor about that and be open and honest about your questions and concerns. That's the best place to get that information and have that conversation. You can also go to our website, vdh.virginia.gov, and get more information about the vaccines and also the diseases that they provide protection for.
Thank you, Dr. Furlano, for joining us with this important back-to-school information. And for more information, please visit the website vdh.virginia.gov. Virginia This Morning returns right after this.
We've all heard the term practice makes perfect, but how can you put that into use in your daily life?
I think we're going to find out. We are delighted to have the award-winning author and writer And writing coach Stacey Hawkins Adams live in our studio to talk about this as part of our Motivational Monday series. Always good to see you, Stacey.
Always good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Motivational Monday definitely puts me on the right page. And you're reminding me of something very important. The consistency that you need in, first of all, routine.
Yes.
And then consistency in the routine so that it becomes, you know, a practice makes perfect situation. For those like me who might not be as consistent or might not be great at routines, what do you recommend?
And I would say myself as well. We are all there. So I recently heard this woman speak, a fellow author, Kate Bastrop, at a conference I attended, and she gave a whole message around how you practice is how you play. And what her whole theme was that the things that we do over and over, that muscle memory builds itself in. So in a time of crisis, a moment of panic, when something goes wrong, if you've practiced it, you're gonna execute. And I think that works in our daily lives too. So in my case, it's getting up in the mornings and exercising, or maybe telling myself you need to eat more vegetables. Whatever that thing is you need to practice, whether it's business related, personal goals, something that you want to do with your family. If you set the intention, if you take the first step, that's what the experts say. You got to take that first step, get past procrastination by doing that. And whatever you're practicing, you can pull that muscle memory into focus.
We all see it. I mean, there's lots of proof all around us. This works. I mean, you take the first responders. How do they function under the conditions they function under? Because they are highly trained over and over and over and over and over again. This is what you do when this happens. This is what and so therefore, when the time comes, when all this pressure and chaos is going on, boom, they do it because they practiced.
Absolutely. A few years ago, I used to work in communications for a local private school, and every year most schools require you to practice CPR, do the CPR training, the Heimlich maneuver, so everybody had to do it. I wasn't in the classroom, but in 2019, I was out at, there was a restaurant, Brio, as many of you all know, at Stony Point. A woman down the way happened to be choking, and I heard the scream and went right into action. Now, I would have never thought I would have been able to do that, but that practice, that muscle just kind of kicked in. And so if we think about that, you know, we were just talking about your young one, and so like when some things happen with our kids, we just go right into motion. But again, it's even if we decide we want to exercise more, in my case, get up at 5 a.m. in the mornings, work on that next book, what is that first thing we have to do? We kind of have to set the intention, put it on our calendar sometimes, and prioritize it, and just say, I'm going to do this without thinking about it, and it becomes repetitive for you.
Wow, yes. We're on the same page. My 5 a.m. morning has not quite kicked off the way that I intended to be. But to your point, you know, having that one thing and trying to make it easy. I find that when my process is over-engineered and there are 59 steps to my getting ready for bed routine, you will easily skip some of those. So how do we keep it easy so that our ability to practice and make it perfect is realistic?
So I think you said it kind of can be over-engineered, but sometimes that actually is part of the practice. So at the beginning of the week, if you know, okay, I've got to do these 3 things this week, I'll check my calendar on Sunday afternoons, I'll look at what I have to do for the week, I'll already start to think about what I need to wear. Now, a funny thing I do on the mornings before I come here, I have 2 things picked out, because I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel in the morning. So rather than wake up and say, I don't want to wear that, I have 2 options, and I go with the option that I'm feeling. That's practicing. And then I already kind of have, I might change up throughout the week, but at least I have a sense of where I'm going to be, what I need to do, what time I need to show up. Now, that's something that I sometimes oh, okay, I didn't leave quite on time. I'm practicing on that. But those areas where we don't have it right, that's where we can kind of give ourselves grace. And Bill and I were also talking about how one of his coaches used to say, what did he say, Bill?
He said, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice it wrong,
well, yeah,
you're wrong.
Exactly.
So you got to practice it the right way.
Right, which means that sometimes we need to get feedback from others. So we might be thinking we're doing it right. One thing I used to do with my kids when they were like middle school age, maybe even into high school, they get their report cards and we talk about their grades. And so I said, well, what's my grade as a parent? How am I doing? I know I'm not in the C range, like hint, hint. But how am I doing? How are my A's and my B's looking? And they would give me feedback. So that was a relationship builder, but it was also good feedback. Like, what are the areas we can work on? And my daughter eventually told me when she was 16, she said, Mom, you come into my room too chipper in the mornings. I'm not a morning person. I was like, well, how am I supposed to wake you up? You got to get to school on time. She's like, just touch my toe. Like, touch my toe, and then, like, help me to wake up that way.
Give me a minute.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Did it work?
It worked. I kind of, like, toned myself down. I would go in and, like, just kind of shake the end of her bed and ease my way out. And she kind of got a new routine of, okay, this is our practice. I'm going to get up and make it perfect. So sometimes feedback.
So that put it on her, though, to actually respond to the toe
There you
touching.
go.
Yeah.
We got to be open to the feedback, receptive to it. How can we learn and grow as a result of it?
So people have to be part of your process, your practice,
Yes.
your feedback loop in order for you to truly perfect it over time. That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about it that way, especially for my personal routines.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's exciting.
And even accountability partners. So I'll sometimes say, all right, I'm cutting out the sugar this week. I need that friend to call me.
Well, wait till after we finished with Ruby before we cut out sugar. Thank you for coming in. We always learn so much.
Thank you for having me.
Stacey Hawkins Adams sends out weekly Motivational Monday emails. And if you want more information or to subscribe, just visit StaceyHawkinsAdams.com.
All right, stay tuned. Much more when we come right back on Virginia This Morning.
Welcome back to our live show. Right now, we turn our attention to a Health Team 6 topic. Here's CBS 6 anchor Reba Hollingsworth's monthly Buddy Check 6 report.
Every 3 weeks, this is where you'll find Sarah Woodoff. Routine infusions to treat stage 4 cancer.
I'm doing this for my husband, for my son, for my mom, my sister, my niece, my nephews.
The year 2020 forever changed Sarah's life. She and her family moved back to Richmond from Texas, the registered nurse working at VCU Health and doing it in excruciating pain.
3 months of progressive back pain and numbness and tingling that started in my feet and moved up until I was basically numb from the chest down. The physical therapist was like, well, you're a mom, your kid is big for his age, your back's gonna hurt. And I was like, okay.
But the intense pain didn't stop. An MRI revealed the heartbreaking diagnosis, breast cancer, and something else.
My back pain and the numbness and tingling were being caused by a tumor on my spine. And the cancer had eaten away at several of the vertebrae, which were collapsing on my spinal cord. So I was very close to being a paraplegic.
Christmas Eve 2020, Sarah's doctor at VCU Health postpones his vacation and performs emergency surgery to rebuild Sarah's spine.
He literally saved my spine and saved my ability to walk. As a nurse, I should have recognized my own symptoms sooner. But then at the same time, as an otherwise healthy, I was 36 at the time, why would I think that I had stage 4 breast cancer?
And it's a stage many doctors and Sarah believe is still worth treating and fighting.
There's been a huge shift in the outlook toward stage 4 cancer. It's something that can't really be cured, it can be managed.
Sarah's cancer is now spread to other parts of her body. This is her normal. Her treatments have included radiation, chemo, and biotherapy infusions.
I think the worst part for any cancer patient is the idea that the worst is going to happen. From the get-go, my mindset was that dying is not an option.
Sarah says her journey has been tough mentally and physically, but there's also been hope and gratitude, something she wants other survivors to know.
It's going to require some changes to your life. It's going to require some extra help and support from family and friends and whoever your people are. But it's 1,000% worth it to fight.
Sarah celebrated her 40th birthday this year. She says she was thrilled to reach that milestone and to see her son start kindergarten in a few weeks. Sarah, the nurse, says her journey has helped her to better relate to patients. She's looking to reach out to other stage 4 cancer fighters. We have that information on our website at wtvr.com. For Buddy Check 6, I'm Reba Hollingsworth.
This segment is sponsored by Goodwill of Central and Coastal Virginia.
'Tis the season for back-to-school shopping. Our friends from Goodwill offer a variety of items for students and families. And here to tell us more is Laura Faison, Chief Communications Officer of Goodwill Central and Coastal Virginia. And we welcome her back to our live show. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
'Tis the season indeed. And, you know, we're all looking for all of the perfect things, all of the perfect supplies. It can get extremely expensive, and those special things can be hard to find as well.
They can be, and that's kind of the beauty of shopping thrift for back to school. There's a little bit of everything for everyone, regardless of how old your child is. Maybe you're actually shopping for yourself as these kids are kind of moving out and going to college, and you're restocking your home. The opportunities are endless.
Absolutely. So we do quite a bit of shopping at Goodwill, as we do here at Virginia This Morning. And one of the things we find is you can go in and find things that are new almost with the tags on them.
Absolutely. So you'd be amazed, especially with children's wear. Parents will buy things, kids will outgrow it before they even wear it, so it gets donated to us still with the tags on it. So that's one of the beauties of shopping. You know, you'll get things like shoes or backpacks or books or any of those things that are very gently used.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned, this is the season for some very special things that you have going on at Goodwill over the next couple weeks.
It is. So not only do we have back to school, we had, you know, a lot of shopping over the last couple weeks with tax-free weekend. Coming up this weekend on Saturday is National Thrift Shop Day. It's not just our day, that's an actual thing, but we've got a lot of fun things in store for that. We've got giveaways, we've got hidden gift cards in all of our stores. So you're looking for a little golden envelope that can actually pay for your purchase that day. Stickers, just a lot of really fun stuff to celebrate thrift shopping for back to school or really any time of the year.
That is very exciting, especially if you're on the hunt for the perfect items for school, but also on the hunt for some of those gift cards.
Absolutely. You know, and one of the things that we encourage folks is to come often, come early. Our merchandise is constantly changing. We put anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 new items on a sales floor every single day, and that's in all of our locations. So there's always something new to find.
Now let's talk about all of those locations. You cover Central and Coastal Virginia, so wherever you may be and wherever family may be,
yes,
you can find a Goodwill nearby.
Yeah, we're really intentional about when we do place a store or open a store that it is nearby those folks that we know are our shoppers and donors. So we encourage folks. We have a lot of shoppers that will go, you guys know, you'll go from each of the stores on West Broad, you know, kind of hop down. So make a day of it. Take Saturday, National Thrift Shop Day, and hit several Goodwills.
National Thrift Shop Day. There's some people that I know who are going to be extremely excited about that. And as you mentioned, there are multiple in the city that all will have a little something different.
They will. They will. You know, depending on where you go, it could be some of our more rural stores, one of our urban stores, but everything has something for everyone. That's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on.
Well, and there's a lot of pressure on families to go out and find things like school supplies and books and all of that. So it's where we might think of Goodwill for the clothing items. There's so many other things that are within your inventory ready to be loved again.
Yeah, I mean, book bags. You would not believe the number of book bags that we get every year, and even outside of the school year. You know, if you're just looking for, your kid decides halfway through the year they want a new themed backpack, right? Kids do that. We've got tons of those in stock. Shoes, things like art supplies. You know, kids are always getting tasked with these last minute projects. Come in, find those creative things to use for those projects without having to spend a lot of money to do so.
Absolutely. We have found some of the most wonderful things there. And actually, I have gotten quite a few dresses and outfits from Goodwill stores that have been some of my most loved pieces as well. Now, as we think about the upcoming year, and as you mentioned, kids are going to change their minds. They're going to grow very quickly. This is a great opportunity to reduce some of your expenses right now at back to school time, but also to be able to maybe spread the wealth all year.
Absolutely. So we really encourage folks this time of year, you're breaking out those jeans that maybe the kids haven't worn in the last 6 months. They're putting them on, they're too short, they're too small. Donate those items because those can then be purchased by another family who really could benefit from those. So clean out as you're replenishing their clothing or their school supplies. Make sure you're turning around and donating those items as well.
That's right. I try to make it a rule, although I'm not always successful, to take something when I go and purchase something.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good rule. You know, we have folks who will literally keep a box like in the trunk of their car or by their front door, and it just becomes a donation box. Just make it a habit, and before you know it, you're donating quite frequently.
Well, and instead of, having that bag that's just living in your trunk, it gives you a reason to go buy, donate some things, bring some good stuff back home.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. All right. So we're getting ready also for some exciting things that are happening on social media. Real fast, anything you want us to know?
Yeah, so as part of this National Thrift Shop Day weekend, we've got some giveaways happening. So if you don't already follow us on social media, please do so. You can get to us through goodwillvirginia.org, which is our website. And it's a really kind of exciting opportunity to engage with folks. We've really spent a lot of time over the last year engaging with our customers and our shoppers and donors, and this is another opportunity to do that.
Well, you've reminded us of the perfect place to go. We call it the boutique around here at Virginia This Morning. The perfect place to go to find all that you need for back to school and beyond. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
To learn more about Goodwill of Central Virginia and Coastal Virginia and to check out their store hours, just visit goodwillvirginia.org, and you can find them on social media too. Mr. B, I'm sending it your way.
All righty. Thank you, ladies. All right, folks, come in and join the CBS 6 family for the 11th annual Speak Up 5K sponsored by Dominion Payroll, benefiting the Cameron K. Gallagher. I'm having a rough time today. Cameron K. Gallagher Foundation. There it is. All right, folks, you can register for the 5K by scanning the QR code on your screen. It's being held September the 7th at Byrd Park. All right, Andreas, going to send it back over to you.
Our next guests are both very talented musicians. One has had his musical selections make it onto the Billboard music charts. The other one is a Grammy Award-winning keyboardist, and together they come together and create beautiful melodies. Here's a special musical presentation from guitarist Ron Bossi and special guest Jeff Lorber on keyboard. Check them out. The perfect soundtrack for our Monday. That's Ron Bossy and Jeff Lorber. And Mr. B, I see you're getting ready in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm just standing here starting to drool a little bit. I'm here with local pastry chef Favi Roop. Her coconut slab bar is on the Virginia This Morning dessert menu. Can't wait to try these. There's a bunch of them here. That's still to come on our live show. Right. Welcome back to the sweet part of the show. Coconut, peanut butter, and chocolate sounds like a winning combination to me.
And it smells like a winning combination, too. Pastry chef Favi Roop is here with her coconut slab bars.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so we are starting the day off with butter, which is like the best.
That's our best way
ever.
No problem
The best way to start the day.
So I thought we would start off this season really more with back-to-school treats. So today I'm focusing on things you can make for your bake sale. You can make for your teachers' gifts when you come into school. Nothing is better than walking in your first day with a little treat for your teacher.
Chocolate always works.
I apologize in advance for my behavior. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to have a couple options for us. What I was working on throughout the show this morning was a variation of just oats and chocolate and peanut butter.
So oats and chocolate and peanut butter.
Everything today is super easy to make. This first one we're doing, the peanut butter slab bar, you really just make it in a pan, you leave it in the fridge, cut it tomorrow, and you're good to go, and you have treats for the whole week.
Ooh.
So we're starting off with some butter.
Now, is this an unsalted butter?
This is unsalted, which is why I'm adding salt.
Aha.
Oh,
Just a little bit.
Good question.
Now, when you buy unsalted butter and you add a little salt, are you just adding less of the quantity of salt that would come in already salted butter?
In a pound of butter, I believe it's a teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
So like you would use unsalted butter in baking and in cooking. You use salted butter for your table spread.
Okay.
So have that like in your little butter dish with your rolls. And
So always using unsalted.
Always
So that was
baking.
brown sugar you put in
This
there?
was graham cracker crumbs.
Graham cracker.
So you can use cake crumbs, cookie crumbs, graham cracker crumbs, really
Whichever you like.
whatever you
Yeah.
have.
Okay.
And I have, this is an 8x8 pan that I line with aluminum foil, just because we're gonna pop it in the oven and it will tend to stick if you don't do
Sure.
Easy cleanup.
Super easy cleanup.
Okay, so just that fast, we got our butter down
Yep.
to a nice.
Butter's melted, you add in your graham cracker crumbs. We're gonna smush this down a little bit. I should put you to work.
Sure, I can
You
do
can
that.
do that.
See how easy
you
that
go.
is?
Me?
Oh, and it smells so good, the butter, my goodness.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna work on the next step, which is again 2 ingredients, coconut and sweetened condensed milk. So
Now, you and I were talking about
We were
different
talking about
kinds of
coconut.
coconut. Tell us about this, because it looks almost like sand.
this one is a finely shredded coconut. You can use shredded or flake coconut as long as you get unsweetened.
Okay.
You don't want the extra sugar in the sweetened coconut.
Okay. So the difference between the shredded and the flaky is
It's just texture.
it's just texture.
Just texture. So if you can't if you want the shredded coconut but you can't find it, you can always get the flake coconut, pop it in your food processor, and grind it up a little
There you
bit more
go.
for yourself.
Okay. And this was
A can of sweetened condensed milk. This is like
yeah.
6 ingredients for this whole dish. It's
Okay.
fantastic. So what happens is this gets mixed together and we'll pour it right on top of the graham cracker crumbs. And it just goes in the oven for about 10 minutes.
So this is something that doesn't take a whole lot of thought, doesn't take a whole lot of preparation. As long as you've got the ingredients, you can throw this together really fast.
You can do this in the morning, even before the kids go to school. Throw them, oh my goodness. Put it in the oven while they're getting ready, and then when they're out, getting ready to leave the bus, pop it out, cut it, and you can send it with them. It's super
Off they
quick.
go.
It might take 20 minutes total.
All right.
So this just goes right on top.
So we've kind of folded it in just enough to get it all
Just mixed it together until
mixed.
it's all. You can
All right.
flatten that out again.
We're gonna flatten it
and then
out.
we'll pop that into the oven.
Now this is going to be a bit thicker of a layer, right?
It is. I like the thick layers.
Okay.
So you
so do we.
There we go.
You're doing great. So I like the thick layers, and what will happen is this is in the 8x8 pan. The chocolate and the coconut are both pretty thick. You can do it in a larger pan, which will give you thinner layers.
Huh.
That's completely up to you. So
That
that's
cooks down
perfect.
a little bit.
It does cook down a little bit.
Okay.
Uh-oh. There you go.
No, you're perfect.
There you go. All
That
right.
goes in the oven. Now, when this is nice and golden brown around the edges, you don't want to cook too much. If you bake it too long, then what will happen is inside will dry. When you go to cut it, it'll just kind of fall apart.
So we don't necessarily need it browned all the way across. So it's
No,
okay, just like it is.
A little bit.
Okay. Here's my favorite part.
Now,
Once we start getting chocolate out.
chocolate chips and peanut butter. And believe it or not, the peanut butter will help the chocolate kind of firm up after it cools. If you just melt chocolate chips, they kind of stay soft and runny after they've cooled off. You need that peanut butter and that extra fat.
If you
to
just
help it
wanted
solidify.
chocolate, if you don't want the peanut butter,
You could add a little bit of cocoa butter to it,
Okay.
and it'll help it.
So that's going to give it a little more of a consistency.
Yes, it gives it more of a fudgy consistency. You can use crunchy or non-crunchy peanut butter, whatever you want. I have soft or
smooth.
smooth, thank you. So I'm adding extra peanuts.
Oh, you're making it crunchy yourself.
Making it crunchy myself.
Okay.
So if you don't have the perfect peanut butter at home, but you've got a little peanut and you got a little peanut butter, you can make it
do
happen.
You can use almond butter also, or sun butter if you have nut allergies. You can really use anything you want. You can use Nutella even if you want to.
So this could be easily modified for a school snack where peanuts might not be welcomed.
Right.
Might be dangerous for some, but we can make it for home and then modify it for school.
Right. And a lot of schools do not allow peanuts in the facility, period. So you can definitely make it with sun butter, which is allergen friendly.
Sun butter.
Sun butter is made for sunflower seeds.
Okay.
Now, is the consistency different?
It's exactly the same.
Very neat.
It's pretty cool. So what I made for you guys today also, some other little treats we have. So Rice Krispie treats are always a big seller at our bake sales. Little kids, like the little guys, love sparkly things. So I threw in some sprinkles, make them more of a funfetti kind of a Rice Krispie treat. And then one of my favorite things to do is use anything but Rice Krispies in my Rice Krispie treats. So we have Oreos in this one. You can make them with like any.
But there's Rice Krispies in
Well,
there.
they're in this one. They are in both
okay.
of them. But I love.
Wait a minute. It looks
So like the Oreo one is half Oreo, half Rice Krispie.
Okay.
So you can really mix it up into. You can do school colors if you want. I'm sure like Trix has different kinds of cereal colors. Or,
Yeah.
Getting creative,
It's
for sure.
get creative with it.
Are you heating this?
Hopefully.
Okay. I was just wondering.
So I'm just
Yeah,
melting,
I see it now.
just melting the chocolate and the peanut butter together.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, what kind of chocolate chips are we using?
These are just semi-sweet, semi-sweet chocolate chips, but you can use any flavor you want: milk, dark, white.
Okay.
I don't think it really matters.
Now, when you're working with white chocolate, do you treat it differently than you might treat these?
It does not. It melts a lot faster, so you have to cook it at a lower temperature. And I would definitely start with a softer peanut butter. So melt the peanut butter first and add the white chocolate chips to that.
Oh, okay.
So just taking it.
That is melting right together, isn't it?
It is. And I should have done this ahead of time. But I
That's
didn't.
okay.
So if you guys want to, this is the oatmeal chocolate bar that I was making earlier. And then
That's this
the
one.
coconut. That's that one right there. That one also super easy. It's oats, brown sugar, and butter. You melt it all together.
So we left out the coconut,
No coconut.
and we added in the oats.
Yes. So it's oats, brown sugar, and butter melted together, layered with the chocolate.
But what you're teaching us is that you really can determine which ingredients you want to use and create those layers that are going to create the perfect bar.
Yep. You can go in your pantry right now and pick out probably 6 or 7 things that, like, I need to get rid of this and this and this, and throw together a really good dessert for school.
And the kids will be none the wiser.
None.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Then we'll do a little quality control.
Our favorite part.
Stay right there. That's coming up after the break.
Love the recipes you see on the show? Visit virginiathismorning.com. Click on the Recipes tab and find your favorites to try out on your own.
All right, welcome back. It's time to wrap up today's show, and we're in the kitchen with pastry chef Favi Root.
She made her yummy coconut slab bar, and now's the time for us to indulge our sweet teeth.
All of them.
Sweet teeth.
All of them.
All right, so that chocolate melted very nicely.
It did. So once this all gets slabbed on top, right? So I'm going to garnish with some chocolate chips, these little teeny mini ones, and some peanuts.
So remind us what's at the base layer of this.
The base layer is graham cracker crumbs and butter,
Okay.
and then coconut.
Then coconut, and then we've got our chocolate and our mini chocolate chips.
Right on top.
Yep.
And we're going to bake that for a moment.
Nope, this goes in the fridge.
Oh, in the fridge, and then we're all done.
And you're done.
So to be crunchy.
It will be actually not that crunchy.
Oh, okay.
Actually not that bad. It's pretty not crunchy.
Okay.
Huh.
All right, so we talked about the Rice Krispie treats. We talked about the oats. This is the coconut and peanut butter. We talked about the Oreos. We didn't talk about this guy. What is that?
So that is a snickerdoodle brownie.
Say no more.
Easy.
Oh my goodness.
Easy.
It's very cakey. It's full of brown
goodness.
sugar and cinnamon. It is delicious.
Yeah, that's right.
One of our favorites right now in the kitchen.
And then what are these little guys over
So
here?
that is another take on a Mexican wedding cookie. It's a shortbread with lemon zest.
Oh, nice.
So something quick and simple. It's like 6 ingredients you can throw together. Keep them in the freezer, and you can give them to your teachers when you come into class.
Keep them in the freezer.
Kids are going like, can you come over to our house before school, Favi?
This is absolutely delectable.
Isn't it wonderful? My boss loves that one right now.
Yeah. Well, we love everything you do. Thank you for coming in.
Well, thanks
Big
for
thank
having
you to all our guests today, including Favi Roop, Goodwill of Central and Coastal Virginia, Virginia Department of Health, and award-winning author Stacey Hawkins Adams.
Good news, our live Tuesday show is ready to go, and we can't wait to enjoy it with you tomorrow, 8:56 a.m. In the meantime, have a sweet, sweet day.
Oh, yeah. That's it.